Warning, this podcast contains ayahuasca.
How do you spell that?
Q. I give up. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Scream Season 2, Episode 4. Happy birthday to me. I'm your host, Dom. With me is Kim.
Hi.
How's it going?
And the police fan.
Yeah, whatever. They're looking for Ghostface. It's fine. So,
Okay.
What did you think of this episode?
Really good. There was a lot of little, the whole hallucination stuff was crazy as crap.
Yeah.
The kissing scene was, it went for, that's the one part, stuck in my brain. I saw, I saw it in the preview for this episode. I was like, how the hell did that come about? Was, at that point. And so it was, Aubrey hallucinated into kissing Noah.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy. So it's Kieran's birthday. There was a whole bunch of stuff leading up to that. We'll get to that. And then Jake supposedly sends tequila from Mexico. We know Jake didn't go to Mexico because Jake's dead, but they don't have any idea, right? So they all decide to drink it when Kieran walks through the door. They get drugged with what they believe is ayahuasca, which is what Stavros is basically telling them. That's what they're going off of. That he's the only one that seems to have any indication as to what this drug is to begin with, which instantly makes it fishy because it's not something that's common, right?
Well, no, it's a hallucinogen. It's a spiritual medicine traditionally in Indonesian peoples in the Amazon.
Okay.
In Peru, apparently. So it's a mixture of plants, and I couldn't even begin to pronounce some of these names.
Yeah.
But one of them words starts with psycho, so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's drink is a brew, and it causes hallucinations, and because you're basically going on a spiritual journey is the thought process. So basically, it's same with any shaman drugs like that. You're going into a spiritual vision, which is you're hallucinating,
right? More
or less. Believe it to follow what you bring out what's going on in your head into.
Yeah, what's buried deep down. So we instantly expected Audrey to have this really dark kind of hallucination, and that wasn't the case. It started out. Huh?
Seeing your dead girlfriend who hung herself is kind of dark.
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, it started out kind of dark, and then it morphed into something not so dark. I guess the hallucination wore off at that point, so it wasn't really it morphed into anything. But she started kissing her dead girlfriend that hung herself in episode. Didn't actually hang herself, but was hung in the first episode of season 1. And then, it turns out she's kissing her. It turns out it's actually Noah. And I'm sitting there going, oh, shit. This is going to cause some problems with Zoe. Zoe's watching. Zoe's like, oh, I'm into this. And she's jumping in the action. There's some crazy three-way going on.
Well, she was only interested at the moment. Obviously, it was the drug-induced crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost feel like Zoe wanted the three-way.
Well, at the time, but I
still feel afterwards, because when Noah went to go talk to her after, and she's like, well, what about Audrey? And he's just like, no, it's just us. And she shot him down shortly after that. And I don't know if it's mainly jealousy with Audrey, or if it's the fact that she actually wanted the threesome and is upset that that's not part of the picture now.
I don't know. My opinion on it is I think she thinks that there's more there than either of them realize.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're best friends, but even with best friends, feelings come up at some point. That is it's almost every relationship ever that you have where you have best friends between a guy and a girl, and it doesn't always have to be that way, but feelings come up at some point and you have to address it. And
That's why they bring up that question: can whether guys and girls can be friends?
they can.
Because
They
yeah,
100%
it
can.
is. Yeah, it's plausible, but I mean, it does have a tendency to somewhere down the line there is feelings of some sort.
Yeah, at
Now,
least between one of the people. It's not even necessarily both, you know? So, but Sally Noble had mentioned in chat that she feels that there's something going on with Zoe, and she doesn't think that we saw her drink the shot on screen. She's correct. We didn't see the shot drunk on screen. She was holding one. She got past one before Kieran got there, but afterwards we never saw her drink it. Not even in like the background shots, anything like that.
and we don't
So
really see her be sick either.
yeah, so it's entirely possible she didn't drink it. It's entirely possible she may have had something to do with this. Um, it's hard to say. It's hard to say at this point. We had someone. We had Kyle William Livingston leave us a comment on our last video. Very very long comment. I'm going to read the whole thing. He said, Ghostface said, "You should be a better partner, Audrey. I'm doing all the work," implying there is only one killer. If that's true, the killer cannot be Emma, Audrey, Noah, Brooke, Kieran, Maggie, Kevin, Zoe, Gustavo, or Branson in the first or second episode. Maggie was not at home when Jake was killed, and Karen was standing right in front of Audrey, not holding a phone, when she got a text. In the episode, Emma was being filmed, Audrey was on the phone, while Noah, Brooke, Zoe, Gustavo, and Branson were at the movies. Kevin was at the bar, leaving only Karen Lang, the teacher, Aunt Tina, Eli, Sheriff Acosta, and Haley as suspects. I think it's Karen Lang. She chose to be Piper's. She is close to Piper's age. She could have been her adopted sister or friend, getting revenge for Piper's death. Eddie said that Piper had a girl accomplice. Everyone thinks he was talking about Audrey, because that's what the show wants us to think, but I think he saw a second accomplice. Karen wasn't in the episode. She could have killed Eddie to keep her identity safe. Somehow Ghostface knew that Jake said girl interrupted at Emma's welcome home party. As I said above, Ghostface can't be any of the Lakewood Six, so I was thinking since Karen likes to record private conversations, she could have possibly bugged the party. When Audrey got a text at school, she thought it was Haley. It could have been, but it could have also been Karen hiding in her classroom. The third prankster didn't show up. Since Haley was there, she could be lying. She could have made a fake account, but it could have been Karen as the third prankster. And I think we were actually very suspicious of Karen instantly.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's the same. She's the moment that she started recording crap. Not to mention, let's say the first thing she does is stick a sticky note in Emma's book with her phone number. Like, la, 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 la. One, as it's like this big rule as a teacher that you're not sure. I mean, there is one thing about getting involved with their lives in school,
right.
and trying to talk to them in school, but you're handing her your phone number creepily, my ass, because she just kind of just stuck it there. She's like, eh.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how that works with therapists and stuff. They might be able to do at home stuff. I don't know for sure.
Not even counselors and stuff are like, it's. I mean, especially nowadays, where, I mean, it happens all the time. The whole, teachers doing stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I personally don't know the rule myself, especially when it comes to professionals in that degree, because she could just be like, I was offering, professional help. She didn't want to talk to anybody. At school, I was trying to help her, not necessarily being malicious, but, I don't know. And then the fact that we didn't see her at all this episode, was a little suspicious too, so.
And we had the recorder, her recording her.
Yeah.
And I know we thought about like maybe she's writing a book, maybe she's doing this. I mean, there's a lot of explanations of why she was recording the session. Not to mention she is a trained therapist. Therapists sometimes do record sessions,
Yep.
but I mean, it makes sense.
Yep. Anyway, back to the hallucinations. Audrey wasn't the only one, that had it. Emma had a Brandon James hallucination, which, all of a sudden, daddy to the rescue. Just convenient.
It is very convenient.
He doesn't see the killer. He doesn't see Ghostface. And they just, they called the cops because of what Emma saw. They had to confess to, everything. And no one believes her. And she's worried now that there's a second killer on the loose. And she has every right to be worried because we know that there is. And by the end of the episode, they all find out, that Jake is dead. And at the Lakewood pageant, Lady of the Lake, which earlier in the episode, Jake was texting Brooke and said, I'll see you there. And I knew what that meant. I knew exactly what that
Oh
meant
yeah,
when
I
that
did
text
too.
came through. So,
And like his body's gonna show up. Like it was. Now that we were talking about that, there was something in when we were talking about what we saw about like coming into this episode, we kept thinking that maybe they put his blood in the alcohol. Or it was. I was pretty sure that he was going to show up in this episode. I mean, they did pretty good of dragging him around and not not being seen for a few episodes. But it was like there's no way they're going to keep him out for this long. I mean, they need to start knowing that something's up.
right.
And
Yeah,
but yeah, I would say, wait, how did he keep him hidden for so long?
Sally in chat says, I want to know how, where is it? I lost it. She just asked, I want to know how the killer kept Jake's body all this time. Probably on ice. That's the only way I could think of that slows the deterioration down. He didn't look too decomposed. And this is potentially 4 days or 3 days after Jake died, because Jake died in episode 1. If every episode here has been a day, then it's 3 days later. But yeah. So it's 3 to 4.
Man.
We'll say 3 to 4.
His body was ripped open, and so that's gonna make things even harder for like smells and all kinds of crap.
But if say you put in a full cooler of ice, like a giant one that you would store like meat in, like the ones that are the size of a refrigerator, and you dropped them in there and you literally covered the entire body in ice, it'll stay for a little bit, not too long, but 4 days without completely decomposing, yeah, it'll do that. Not that I know from personal experience.
I'm sure a few days it wouldn't be hard to keep from decomposing. And it takes decomposing, depending on like obviously there's situations like heat and all of that stuff affects the body, but
yeah, that's what I said. You put in a freezer like that, and it'll be fine. Like you buy meat. You ever freeze meat? Meat lasts much longer frozen.
oh yeah,
You take a nice big steak and put it in the freezer. That could last up to 6 to 12 months before it goes bad. If you left that in your refrigerator, say, you got a couple days. You get like a week out of it, maybe at absolute most. So,
but he would have had to sneak Jake's body into that thing before anybody was there,
right.
unnoticed even. So it would have been like it would have been done at like night.
Yeah, it had to have been. So I don't know. It seemed really weird with the kid holding the rope, like just sitting there holding it, like if he let go, it was gonna drop.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is what happened, but I don't know if it was him
Well,
letting go,
he
or
like
it was him
it was like
pulling
it
it.
was tied or something, and he had to pull it to get it to go. It looked like he had a little trouble, like it wouldn't pull at first. I'm sure that was probably rigged to pull easy. So I'm guessing that the killer, unless the killer is that kid, I doubt it. I think the kid was just extra. But to the killer had to retie it, so that's why when he was pulling it, it was harder to pull out.
Right.
So then when he pulled, finally he had like yanked the crap out of it.
Yeah. So that's how they all find out there's another killer on the loose. But do you think what Emma saw in the woods was real, or do you think she was hallucinating?
I think at first she was hallucinating. I think the second attack might have not. But we know that this killer has a tendency to be in and out very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it could have also been a prank. It may not have been the killer that was because everything that happened at the party, so to speak, well, that is not necessarily um, the killer, right? Everybody kind of assumed that Jake went to Mexico. Stavo could have drugged the bottle of tequila, and since he was the one that knew what it was, that's why I'm gonna blame Stavo for that. Like he could have done that and said that it was Jake from Mexico. Nobody's gonna question that, And then we see later on when his father's going through his stuff. That Stavos has a replica of Brandon James' mask in a shoebox on his desk.
I think it's too easy. I know that. I mean, it is possible for turn
Well, I
around like
think he
make it
was
look.
just having fun. I don't think he was the killer, in that regard. I think he's just fucking around at that point, trying to get a scare, get a rise. Because we see he's got the whole, like, Marilyn Manson kind of shock art going on, where,
Right.
He's got all the drawings of the Lakewood Six. Emma's mutilated in the drawings, and, you know.
Well, I think he's also obsessed with the whole thing. That could be another reason why he has a replica of the mask because he's like into all of it. I mean, if you're into something, you obviously have stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's different. I mean, obviously, of having like an action figure, that would be his concept of as an action figure
Yeah.
in retrospect.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, I think if he was the one fucking around at the party, scaring Emma or whatever, he may have not even tried to kill her. That may have been part of her hallucination, but he may have been running around in the mask. We don't know for sure, you know.
Sure.
It's not like the mask was hidden away. It looks like he came home, put a shoebox on the desk, and that was that. And the father found it relatively, easy. So I don't know.
I think though I don't I also thought it was strange that he did take the shot. We did see him take the shot. He did drink it, but it affected him differently than everyone else. He didn't get sick. He took it really well. Now,
He's also
if
had it before.
right, that's the other thing. Is like if you become resistant
Hmm.
to a drug if you taken it early.
Yeah.
So that makes it look suspicious as well. Now, obviously, if he's taken it before, that's the reason why he knows what it is. But
Yeah. Yep. His father, though, has spent pretty much this whole episode looking for Jake. We find out that the superintendent at school actually spoke to Jake, or spoke to Jake, and he sounded really sick. He had strep throat, and they never questioned it. His parents are in Mexico; they know this, so this is why Jake's been out so long. But now, everything's gonna be under question now that they found the body. So, Brooke's gonna realize, hey, somebody's been texting me this whole time. It wasn't Jake. The father's gonna realize. Or who did I say? I meant Brooke. I don't know who I said, but it wasn't Brooke. Or was it? I don't even know what I said.
It's still a horrible school to just take someone's word like unless I mean, unless there's that whole emancipation thing where it's like you can sign the paper where it says, "Oh, I can sign all my crap because it's my mother." Whatever. I had it in my senior year in high school. I got my mom in to sign this paper, and I was in control of everything. So I was like, "Oh, I'm late. I'll just like I'm late. Here's a pink slip." I could call myself out.
Right.
That
I
would
mean, it might not also be the circumstances too. If they know for a fact the parents are away, the parents set it up ahead of time. They could have been like, "Look, until we're home, he's in charge," kind of thing. So, that's completely possible. Because I've had my parents go away for vacation when I was in high school, and I got to call the shots with things like that until they got back. So, I'd be like, I'm coming in late, or whatever. I can't make it in right away. and I never got questioned for it. So, um, but yeah, what the hell is up with Eli? Right, Eli and Emma like almost had a thing going on.
He obviously likes Emma. That is. There's no question to that. There was no question that from the very beginning that
Hmm.
he's got a thing. Now, where that goes and what's the deal with that? I mean, we do know that Eli was missing all night
Yeah,
when all the things, and we know shit
yeah.
that went on
Before
with
the party, he
Audrey.
was missing. He kind of manipulates Emma into throwing this big party for his brother Kieran or his cousin Kieran, and Kieran just wanted to stay home, have a nice relaxing evening with Emma, and he's just like, no, look, Kieran told me. She's like, wait, he didn't actually say that, but she's like, wait, did Kieran say something? He wasn't, and he just kind of shrugged and smiled. So he didn't directly lie to her and just made her feel like shit. So that's why I say he manipulated her.
Mhm.
And then he's just like, hey, by the way, I got a fake ID. I can get some booze. For all we know, he was the one that bought the tequila. Who knows? We don't.
That's true. But as he says, there it's a very expensive bottle. Well, at least he said it was a very expensive bottle.
Right.
He said that it was a $300 bottle of tequila because it's aged and stuff.
I mean, see, that's the thing, because Eli clearly knew about the tequila. He knew everything there was about the tequila, where Stavros knew everything there was about the drug. So it's got me curious. It really does.
There, there's a lot of people that it points possible points to.
Hmm.
just like just like I don't think this like I feel like this season is not as I
Cut
know
and dry.
yeah, it's a whole everyone's anyone could be the killer, blah blah blah. I mean, obviously I think a few people are still question or I'm like, I don't think it's obviously it's not obvious because
I
the
mean,
killer is taunting the
Audrey,
living crap out of her.
yeah, Audrey wakes up with the weapon in her bed. After she buried it the night before, thinking it was over. We didn't see anything further of that, but we know Ghostface is toying with her. So
So it's pretty obvious it's not obvious. Um, it'd be some weird cracked out thing if it's Emma. If it's just, I mean, I think it'd be super interesting for it to turn around and be. No, I don't think if they continue to believe they're going to continue on with the seasons. I mean, I guess they could flip around. Like, you never know. Do some weird crazy shit, get some new characters in. But if Emma's just
yeah,
going crazy and
at,
she's hallucinating all of this stuff, and she ends up being the one killing people.
at least up to this point, I don't believe that it's Emma.
Oh,
Um, that may be something that they want to do later on down the road, but I don't see it this early.
I don't see it either. But it's one of those
I could
crazy
see
things.
Emma like getting to a breaking point at some point, and doing that.
Just snap and be yeah. Um, I'm still so like, we got this whole subconscious thing when she's hallucinating, and I believe that's supposed to be her younger self, saying she still got something to show her. I still think there's something that's going on. There's something in her subconscious that she's not remembering. I don't know what it has to do with her dad. I think it's I do think it's something to do with her dad because I started to hear a somewhat of a conversation. It sounded like it was between her dad and her mom.
Right.
So I'm thinking there is definitely something subconsciously that she is buried in it deep down in somewhere, and it's gonna slowly start to come to light over the next few episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, things are just starting to get crazy. It seemed like Scream One or Season One, we had like a death every episode. We haven't had that. Like we've had one death in the first four episodes, and
Too.
two, yes, and I think things are gonna start speeding up now that they know Jake's
No.
dead. Now that they know there's a killer on the loose, so um, I think we're gonna find out really quickly because between Stavos and Eli and Zoe, I don't think all of them are gonna make it through this season. They don't. I think
I don't.
Eli's mother is gonna be like the next to go, to be completely honest. And
I don't know about next, but I definitely agree sometime somewhere. She's expendable.
Yeah.
She's an expendable character.
And she's going to be one that we're rooting to die, so.
Yeah, because so far I don't trust her at all. Because her and Eli had some weird, that conversation. I just don't.
Yeah. Even Darius in chat says, I could see Emma at some point just losing it. So. For
It's
sure.
definitely interesting.
My favorite part of this episode, though, was when Noah had asked Zoe out on a date, and then Brooke just casually walks by and she's like, "I'll pick you up at 6:30."
Oh,
Best part of the episode for me.
Hilarious. I'm still all about this Aubrey Noah kissing scene and
Yeah.
stuff, and I want to see where that goes. Yeah. I root for Noah. I love Noah. Noah's like my favorite character.
Yeah.
Remember how pissed off I was last season? I can't think of her name right now.
Just remember, though, while you're thinking of that, just remember, Randy didn't fare so well in the movies.
I know.
So, you know,
I know.
Randy is Noah's counterpart, you know.
I know.
Or Noah is Randy's counterpart, I should say. But yeah, Randy didn't fare too well.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
So. Next week, we have another horror movie title, Dawn of the Dead. So episode 5, Dawn of the Dead. The death of a loved one hits everyone hard. And GW High. What the hell is GW? I don't know what their school is. GW High goes into lockdown. Suspicions rise among the Lakewood 5. I guess they're officially down to 5 now. They're no longer the Lakewood 6. So, it's gonna bother me. I don't know what the GW in their school stands for. I just completely blacking this out. I have no clue. I guess we'll find out next episode.
But I must say, Noah has surpassed Randy's kill point, though. Randy's 4th.
Yeah.
In the kill order. So.
That is true. That is true. You have anything else before we wrap this up?
Not off the top of my head. I think we pretty much covered everything for this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kim, where can people find you?
They can find me on the Twitter at HUFFITYPUFFITY if I don't tweet from someone else's account.
You can find me down below tweeting on my own account at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. I'd like to thank Sally and Darius for joining us live in chat. And until next week, see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Darius says the Lakewood 5. Sounds like a band name.
Oh, those boy bands. Hop in.
Dog's going nuts over here. Food must be here.
I'm hungry. Wait till the end. Oh, we get the food.